and just felt, and then we'll catch up on who's here. um, and then get more into this. So, if you're just joining me, this is week 2 of us felting the baby gorilla from the Makers Monthly felting box, Makers Monthly Makers box. There's the words. So if you don't know, this is a subscription box that every month the makers send you out a new project with full instructions, materials. You even get your felting needle, not with a holder like this, but you get your felting needle in your first kit. Everything you need. So yeah, there is not links below. If Alicia's in or someone, you can you put links? I forgot to link them in this video. But yes, it's the makers with two S's. So that's what we're doing. Last week we made this. We got to this stage following the directions. If you're making the kit, I'm doing it around half size what they say in the kit because I like giving myself a challenge. But this contains enough materials to make a baby gorilla that's more than double the size of this little guy. So that's what you're getting. I'm just doing things differently because that's who I am. But we'll get on and look at the directions and everything in a minute. I'm just going over last week we'd finished doing, look at his little hat, his little two beans. That is now I don't even like this silk clay, but I kind of want to do this kind of effect of doing the silk clay with the fibers to do, like, bears when they're fishing and things. You see all their toe beans. It's so cute. I kind of want to do this for bears now. There's a tempting idea. Actually, we will have enough materials left over. Might do that. But yeah, what's everyone been up to this week? This week, I managed to finally get out and meet Steffi. They're doing the crafts for Christmas and the craft fair at the SECC in Glasgow. So I managed to get along and I seen them. We had a great time. I'm probably about the only person that went to the craft fair and didn't buy a single thing. But yeah, that's just me. But I went with a couple of crafty friends, so that was awesome. And yeah, we had a nice day. I will say, I'm guessing I spoke about this with me mum. We've been to this Christmas craft fair many times over the years, and it used to be this huge massive thing, over 2 big halls. There was food, there was party music, there was ready-made stuff to buy, there was craft kits, there was demonstrations, there was crazy people covered in glitter showing you how to do their stuff. This year it was definitely a good bit toned down. It was still good to go. I enjoyed time with my friends and everything, but it definitely wasn't what it had been in the past. But yeah, it was still nice to go around. I was hoping I had my camera there. I was asking people if I could film, but then after a very short while, I realized there was absolutely no used to be this was where you would see all the new crafts and the new up and coming things, but there was nothing new. That there was no new things that you're like, wow, I've never seen anything like that before. So yeah, if you're wanting to know what crafts are up and coming, same old, same old. Not a bad thing. There was, as always, lots of things for card making. Trying to the beads. Yeah, that was about it. Oh, knitted, lots of wool, lots of fabric, and yeah, as well as fabric like for quilting and all that. So that was cool. The makers had a great fun double-sized stall. They had everything there. It was really cool to see everything there. So that was good. And they've been doing a different demonstration every day as well, so hopefully a whole load of people got introduced to needle felting. But other than that, I don't think there was anything like new. Some 3 or 4 years we went along and there was all the diamond painting things. Other years I've learnt about leather tooling to make beautiful pictures. I've learnt about specialist nail art things, all sorts of things. It's actually where I first saw the paver pole, the fabric hardener that I use, but this time nothing new. But it was still fun to be there and nice to see tons of crafty people. Let's check the chat because I got distracted there. Hang on. Let's share the monkey. Let's do the split screen like we're supposed to. So we have Ginger in the house. Couture Handmaids. I think I'm saying that right. Coffee, crochet project. Coffee, check. Crochet project, double check. Sitting down with feet up. Good on you. Triple check. Ready. Best way. I've already had too much coffee today. I am these past couple of days totally tired. Alicia got the link for the baby gorilla. Thank you so much there. Alicia representing the makers because I know they are, I think the craft thing's either still on today or it just finished yesterday, but they will be exhausted because it's quite full on. I've helped my mum, not with this kind of thing, but like with craft shows that were busy. I remember like 2 day in Culzean Castle that was busy, and that's exhausting. So I can't imagine doing something of this size. I did many years ago. Oh, I don't know if anyone remembers this. On Etsy, when teams were really a thing, some of the Scottish Etsy teams were talking about doing a stall, and I really thought about it, but then I realized that it would just be it's too much. Serena, hello there. Bridget's in the house. Alicia's caught up and is her baby gorilla's at the same stage of needing a good feeding. Yeah, we've got the links to the silk clay. Yeah, I kind of hated silk clay before, I won't lie, but I really like how it's kind of combining with the felt quite well to make toe beans. Bridget saw us on Facebook. Yes, seen the show. A few years ago, I filmed the show. You know, did a little video of going everything around the show, and it was great fun. But this year, it just didn't seem worth it. But it was still good. It's still worth going to. If anyone's going to these things, hold off buying your ticket till nearer the time because I bought my ticket and then about 3 days later, Groupon and everywhere is doing 2 for the price of 1 tickets. So it's much more reasonable at that. Alicia, you're excited to try the resin and wire crafting at the show near us soon. It was on Kristen's Christmas show last year. Oh, resin! See that's fun. I don't think there was any resin at all, which is surprising because resin has been huge for the past couple of years. Oh, and as well as like 3D printing type things. Nothing of that. Wow. Yeah, there's so many crafts that could have been there. I'd love to resin and wire crafting. Yes, I don't know if Lily's in the house, but our Lily Tree who pops in here, a friend of the channel, does wire crafting. She makes wire jewelry tutorials on YouTube, so you could follow her. Great stuff. You're saying the church bells are ringing here. Ooh. Carol, yeah, I'm guessing the dreaded C word did keep them away from the show. The other thing, my mum follows up on these things more. I think it wasn't just people. I was glad it was less people-y. I'm sorry for the makers. I hope it was still worth being there. And normal years, I go along on the Thursday and I go early because then busloads of women with their shopping carts and walking sticks elbowing people out the way and stuff, it gets really horrible. So it was busier than anything I've been to in the past year and a half, which is a little bit freaky. I'm not gonna lie, I think we're all a bit like people. So that was a little bit different. But it was the number of vendors as well. But mum had said that creating craft on TV was also doing, usually, everybody's all in the same place, but they decided to do something in England this week, in Englandshire. But I think the Scottish one was a couple of weeks early. It's usually closer to Halloween, but we have the whole COPA thing, trying to save the planet by flying tons of people across the world. And yeah, apparently, because Glasgow is such an incredibly unsafe place, they're having this event in Glasgow, but half the people that are flying over are going to stay in Edinburgh, are going to stay in an entirely different city to be driven in and shut the motorway and all that stuff, but to be driven in every day. So yeah, we're going to save the planet like that. That'll work. But yeah, that distracted much, but that did mean that I think that's why everything was shoved back a bit, which might mean that things clashed, which meant there was less vendors, which was a shame. But hey, it was still good. It was enjoyable to get out and see friends and meet Steffi. That was worth the entry price anyway. But yes, hopefully the NEC one will be a good one. It does include Simply Christmas. Yeah, it was Crafts for Christmas with us, which is usually really good, but not so much. Alicia, yeah, love church bells when you're visiting a town, but couldn't handle living next to ones I would hear all the time. I like proper church bells, but sadly too many churches, and I understand why, but they don't have their bells anymore, so they just play a recording of it. Yeah, Ginger, we have a church with a fabulous carillon. I don't know how to say it, but they're only able to play it once a year. It's quite a skill and really amazing, but yeah, it would be annoying if it was like every week or something. Alicia, yeah, an eco conference that's 100% not eco-friendly. And Alicia, yes, I meant to say that, yes. And thank you so much to the makers. When I turned up there, I was just saying hello and everything. So we will be doing the advent calendar this year. The makers gave me an advent calendar box, so thank you so much, everybody. That's like totally appreciated, and we'll definitely have fun with that. I mean, it's still we've still got over a month, but I think what I'll be doing is, rather than doing it every single day, because that did kind of exhaust me, I think we'll do a weekly thing so we can open up, so we're doing proper advent. We can open up like 7 bags and get a decent, a nice project, rather than, because the bags are great and there's a little bit of something in each one, but sometimes you'd open a bag and it's like, it's not really enough for, it's not giving me enough inspiration for a project with just one of them. But when I've got 7 of them, we can go wild. So I think that's what I'm going to do. But let me know if you want otherwise. I mean, I did enjoy every day, but it was hard work. Oh, Alicia, you messaged for me. Thank you. I totally appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, and there's still advent calendars available. So definitely, it's great fun, because there was lots of, I learned about the space galaxy. Alicia, what's it called? But the bobbly fiber that has little pops of color in it. Awesome. Some of the Carly stuff. We made some great projects. If you haven't checked, I need a felted a Brussels sprout and an avocado. But all sorts of fun things. Right, let's get on with what we're supposed to be doing here. So this is me monkey. This is me, gorilla. So we've got to feed him up a bit. So add a layer, bend him back to make sure he's in the right proportions. Build around the chest. Yes, they do have chunky chests for sure. So I like when I'm going over a chest, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but come in at one shoulder and do a kind of figure 8 to build it up. Especially, they have a bit of deep chests and a bit over the back and everything as well. So it stabilizes the joints and really adds a decent bit of bulk, and it's nice and easy. So you start up on top of one shoulder, go down under the chest, wrap back over the arm, and then down. You're wrapping a shawl around their chest, basically. And then can just squidge it in slightly, and there he's got a bit more of chest. You have to bend the arm so you can open the chest. But yeah, it's a good thing if you've got a wire armature, you can move it about to get into bits. Lay a wad of wool over the back of the head and shoulders, and then felt it down. So that's kind of smoothing up the join onto his head. And yeah, just building that up a wee bit starts to make him look a bit more gorilla. I mean, he definitely needs, we need some more bananas there. What do gorillas actually eat? We just assume it looks slightly monkey, so it must eat bananas. Oh, I love this. Lay over the back legs and through the legs, reaching forward like a nappy. That's a great description, isn't it? Rainbow drops. That's it. Thank you, Alicia. Yep. So we're making a little nappy for me gorilla here. Same kind of way. Yeah. I'm just, he's got quite a chest. I'm just going to smooth out the join there a little bit between the bum and the chest, but don't want to make the bum too thick because a lot of baby animals tend to have skinnier back ends because obviously they haven't built up the muscles there yet. So I tend to make them a little bit skinnier at the bum. So I'm just going to smooth this out. We do have the template. Yeah, so it's coming thicker. Yeah, pretty much what we've done. Skinny bum. That's exactly what I just said. So yay! I'm getting it right. Ginger, do you have difficulty with the black fibers on the black base, or do you just poke until it stays in? B, yeah, yeah, no problem really at all. I'm barely looking at it. I just poke until it feels about right. I don't worry about trying to get everything perfectly felted by visual. I'm just feeling it and going, oh, that feels a little bit loose, so I'll just stab a little bit more. No problems with black on black. Don't really have to see it. It's hard for the camera. I would prefer to make more projects in a black color because I think they look good, but they're really difficult to film so you can actually see what's going on. I mean, that just looks like a black blob. You can't whoa, you can't really see all the details. Oh, Alicia, yes, I saw a thing. Some gorillas will eat some monkeys. I saw it in a documentary. It's very disturbing. Yeah, I saw the same thing, and it's disturbing, but it's nature. I get, that's we can't only get the pretty bits, and as a species, we eat meat. So yeah, it's horrible. But yeah, Alicia was just about to tell me to look at the template. Yeah. Remember, in these directions, if you get them, we have a ruler going up the side of every page. Super helpful. And there tends also to be this. This is me not. This is the size it's supposed to be. So you get proportions, little templates that you can lay your monkey over and make sure it's getting the right shape. Gorilla. Don't call gorillas monkeys or whatever. But so you can make sure you're following along the right guidelines, getting the right size. It's super helpful to have that. And totally, whenever I'm making an animal from scratch, if you've seen, especially I think my needle felted frog tutorial, if you're not sure how to make them, which most of us are not sure how to make something that we're doing from scratch, one good thing is always to find, it's really easy to Google a skeleton of the animal you're going for. So a skeleton of a horse, skeleton of a cat, print it out to kind of the size that you want, and then you can make your armature that size, and then you wrap it, and you've pretty much got the right animal just for doing that. So that's the easiest way if you're making something a bit weird. So it's really handy to have these guides in here as well. You can wrap until it looks about right. You make sure your armature is about right. Oh, Ginger! Most vegetarians do eat meat on occasion. Our deer are famous for taking down suet feeders in winter. Bears get the blame, but they're hibernating. Oh well, do you know it makes sense. Animals don't have to follow a strict diet. They're just like that looks like it would be good good energy. That would be kind of lovely to look out and see your bird feeder being nibbled on by by deer. Anything that helps them through the winter, I think. Um, yeah, helpful images. That the images are helpful, yes, but not the disturbing images of gorillas. Alicia, not that she's a veggie. Yeah, dogs are not veggies at all. But dogs are terrible at stealing the birds' suet. Oh, I could see that. Dogs are. It doesn't matter what they're supposed to eat. I had a friend who had. I think I've told you this before. She had a dog and a bearded dragon, and whenever they were making up the food for the bearded dragon, the dog was jealous. He was a he, yeah. He was begging for, basically, he would beg for a side salad because he thought the bearded dragon was getting something special. So he thought salad was the most exciting food on the entire planet. So yeah, that's not really something that dogs should be eating, but it doesn't do them any harm. It just they don't need it. But he's like, give me a salad, please. Um, right. Oh, I'm on the wrong page. I've skipped ahead. But yes, we've chunked him up. I won't go crazy felting him down. I think I've made the back legs a little bit too short. No, that's not too bad actually. But yeah, I won't go mental felting him really, really tight. I want to get on to doing the face. So this looks fun. So we're felting a mouth. For those, I think everyone here knows how to felt, but if you're new to felting, if you felt a lot in the same line, then you make a line. It dents down and forms a line. So we're doing his mouth first by just felting again and again over a straight line. And I don't know how well that will show up. I'll show you in the other camera if it doesn't quite yet. Giving him a little bit of a smile and just felting again and again in the same place. Will that just trying to get the light. You can just about see on his face he's got a wee smile there. So just keep doing that. And the more you felt, the more deeper it'll go in and hold its shape. It helps if you're doing this, make sure, obviously you don't want like totally rigidly felted, but the bits that you're working on need to be felted a fair bit so that they can hold their shape when you try and deform them, basically. So he's got his wee smile. And then yes, we have to do nostrils, the same thing. So we're making big circles in this little muzzle bit, which I think is I've made far too big because I'm not following the directions. But we'll see how it works out. It might end up being cute. Now this is going to be the tricky bit, to try and get the nostrils evenly positioned and evenly sized. I have a feeling I won't manage that, but let's give it a go. So just felting again and again in a small circular space until nostrils happen. Just checking the chat. Sorry. Bridget, what's suet? It's, I believe it's the fat specifically from around kidneys of an animal. It's high energy. It's fat. It's quite high energy. It's the stuff that makes mince pies not vegetarian, because that's a remnant of back in the days when mince pies had mince and fruit and spices in them. Now they just have fruit and spices with a bit of suet as a kickback to why it's called mince pies. For the people in the and I don't think Americans have mince pies. Do you have them in Australia, or is that just a very British thing? Oh, Ginger, you had a cat that had to be put on a vegetarian diet. Oh, that's tough. But she would go outside and catch mice. The vet said if she had the energy to catch mice, they weren't going to hurt her. So you put her on a veggie diet, and she went off and took herself off the veggie diet. Alicia, like gummies for birds. Yeah, Bridget, suet sounds disgusting. But it's it's part of the animal, and I'm glad if we're using it, I'm glad we're using as much as possible, basically. But uh, if you're veggie, then it is pretty unpleasant. Oh, ginger, yes. Mince pies, yes. Yum. I don't have I didn't used to like mince pies, but I figured because it's like there's too many, like from very soon everywhere is serving mince pies. They're everywhere. But I if I just have one or two nice ones, then they're good. Um yeah, Alicia, when you learned gummies and marshmallows were made of animal fat. Well, it's gelatin, isn't it? But you were grossed out. Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of interesting things we don't know. That's why it's so difficult. I tried to be vegan for a little while, which I am an Edelfelter, so it's difficult to be fully vegan. I tried it for a little while, but yeah, once you start looking into things, there's so much that you don't realize, like having to find vegan wines and things as well, and yeah. um, oh, Bridget, yep, you like mince pies. You make them, but no suet. Yep, fair enough. I'm not bothered by suet, because it's when you buy it, it's very it's very sanitized and cleaned up. You know, it just it's little bits of whiteness. But I don't think I've made mince pies since I was at school, probably. Right. Oh, my gorilla's got the most dopey expression. Can we see? We see that, but the nose and the mouth managed, and it does say, I did read ahead, it'll make the holes deep as they will naturally flatten the face, but it does say tiny wisps of the dark brown, that one, into the nose holes. So good tip as well to add little bits of things into, especially in black. Add little bits of dark colors in there, and it will just shows up the work you've done creating them. So I'm adding little bits of brown right into his nose. Looks like he needs to blow his nose just now, but hopefully that kind of shows up on the camera. I'm not sure. Ginger, yeah, mince pies once a year is enough. Yeah, I agree. There's so many other amazing things. I like all the spices around the time of year. So I think that's why I like the idea of mince pies. Right, felty nose thing. Mr. Tamaya, good morning. Hello there. Good to see you. And just as I've felted more of his nose, he's lost a little bit of the definition of his mouth. So I'm just going to felt that a little bit more again. And that's the thing, as one thing changes, you can go over and clean up the rest. You know, just felt over where you've been again. Yes, a dorpy expression. Yeah, we're finished on this page. Next page. Mix a little brown, black. Where did I put the brown? There it is. Brown, black. Mix a bit of these three colours. I do. Right, let's see if I can mix such a small amount. I might have to make more, but we're trying to make a amber brown colour. That sounds fun. I want a little more red. So for those that haven't seen, these are just dog slicker brushes that really help you to blend some colours together quickly. So you can go from a pile of different colours to one sort of smooth colour. Okay, so just above the nose to either side of the face, facing forward. Humans, gorillas, everything, our eyes face forwards. The same with like predators, dogs, cats, big cats, everything, our eyes face forward because that's where we're focusing. More grazing animals and things, their eyes are slightly further around to the side. So as these little things, it's handy to know, then you can, when you're making them, those little touches just make the difference. So just felting this brown around, and then we're going to put this glue in eyes, which might be will be too large because I'm going too big with this, but I think it'll be cute. So I'm slightly oversizing the eyes. So this is going to be like the irises, and the felt-in black eyes are going to be the pupils, and that gives a nice little glint of whiteness on the pupils. Yeah. One thing I do find difficult when you're, I've got the eyes here, when you're felting in the little tunnel for the eyes to go into, it's really hard on black to see where you felted. Sorry, I should totally stop talking when I'm opening these things. So I felt one, sort of keep my eye on where it is. And even then, that is not wanting to go in. Right, got to do that again. So you've got to felt loads of times in the same place to make a little tunnel. Gently, don't force your needle. I just realized I'm doing this and other people will copy me. Just gently move your needle to open up, hopefully, a little tunnel. Hopefully this will work. Yay. That one worked. I appear to be making him slightly cross-eyed. Bridget, oh, thank you. He's looking cute like a baby gorilla. Awesome. That's the aim anyway. Yeah, he's coming together. Still got a bit of work to do. But yeah, happy. Do the makers sell yarn? I believe so. Oh, don't love mince pies and Christmas pud. I like the idea of Christmas pudding. I think more than I like the ceremony of it. Right, I'm going to go off piste a little bit, seeing as we're making him a little more cute. I'm going to don't tell the makers. So I'm using a tiny pinch of white from my stash. What I do, roll it into a ball, a loose ball. And if you do two quickly after each other, then you feel if they're about the same size, they won't be identical. So roll into a ball and then backwards and forwards to make a fat in the middle, narrow at the outside shape. And I'm just going to felt it underneath his eyes, slightly underneath the brown bit that I felted on. And this will just give him the whites of the eyes, and hopefully will make him look a little even cuter, hopefully. So it is just like a tiny crescent underneath his eye, makes him look like he's looking up a little bit more. This we don't have white in this kit. This is just me adding. If you've been felting, if you've had any of the other kits, you will have a pinch of white lying around if you want to add that. That will take away from the realistic look and give it a more cartoony look, but I like that. So there we have him looking up. Obviously, the smaller you make the white bit, the less cartoony it will become, but that's what I'm doing there. Oh, add a couple of thin dark brown strips, or we'll just use some of this that we made. Oh, I see what we're doing. Right. So underneath their eyes, we're just going to take a couple of threads to go lines underneath their eyes to make it look like they're kind of got a wrinkly situation going on under their eyes. That's cute. Ginger, not a fan of Christmas pudding, so don't need to be sorry. Maybe because I tried making it. Yeah, again, there's plenty of other things that are nicer. It's not awful, but it's not great. Christmas cake can be good, especially if you've got a friend who like totally likes to boozy it up. We had many years ago when I was a kid, a family friend had made Christmas cake. But he hadn't got round to icing it that year, so we just spent a year feeding it brandy and then iced it the second year. Best Christmas cake ever. It was probably more brandy than it was cake, but yeah, so these are just like little lines coming out from under his eyes to make him look a little wrinkly. Sometimes babies do have that sort of wrinkly, wise old man look about them. Right, and then I did read ahead, and we've got to squish the face down a little bit. Bring the nose in, squish the face. And as we've put in lines for wrinkles, it's a good tip when you're squishing it is to felt along those wrinkles you've created, and that'll bring it in that'll cause the wrinkles to wrinkle a little bit. And I'm just gonna also, while I'm doing it, felt into his nose, and that will as well bring everything in a little. Here we go. It's really hard to see just now because it's black. It's so black, so it's hard to see. And I did make the nose very big. Sorry, I'm missing the chat. Alicia, yeah, for putting the eyes in, you can use an awl. Oh, owl. An awl. Yes. Ginger babies always look slightly cross-eyed. Yeah, good point. Mr. Tamiya got your kit on Friday. Excited to make this little guy. Yeah, he is super cute. I can't wait to see everybody's. Bridget, yes, fruit must be soaked in brandy for months. Love it. Right, so we've done all this. Start with black and right. I'm reading and thinking at the same time. Excuse me. Start with black and brown, black and right. The two black colors, I think, which is these. Black and brown, black, or is it that one? No, it's that one. Maybe. So we're mixing some black and brown together. Got it. And pulling so that the fibers, it's not quite going to move out into sort of roving, but it's keeping it all in the same direction. Starting with your head. Okay, we're making fluff. Got it. Okay, yep. So taking this, the fibers are running in this direction, looking at about the middle, felting into the middle, so it's only held at the center. And then I'm just going to fold it outwards. Oh, this is hilarious. Fold it outwards so it sticks up in a in a crazy fuzziness. So gorillas have very hairy faces. They're telling us we want to go do this all the way around, just leaving out the eyes, nose, and mouth. This is so cute. And it also saves us having to make ears. I was wanting to read ahead and see if we had to make ears, because I made an orangutan many years ago, and I think the ears were the thing that took me the longest time. Ears are weird. So this is cool, making them fluffy. Oh, I'm getting bits of white fuzz everywhere, but making the face fluffy so we don't have to worry about that. That's very cool. Alicia, yeah, you still working on giving your gorilla some meat. He looked very skinny. Yes. They definitely need fattened up a bit. I am thinking, yes, we're going to be adding fuzz. So when you're doing this kind of thing, you can add like loads of this on and then sort of trim it off so you can build up the fuzz without making them too fat. Yeah. Ginger is the brandy that gets you. Not a fan. Although a nice cognac warms the soul. Yeah, well, that's yeah. If you don't like the brandy, then that's the only fun part of the pudding of the cake. Really. Wonder what. Could we make it with Tia Maria or something? Well, no. Let's just do a chocolate cake with Tia Maria. That would be nice. Oh, this looks so dorky. It's fantastic. I'll let you have a look in a second. Oh, look at that. I don't know what it looks like. It looks like a pug that's had an electric shock just now. let's, let's blend some more. So we've got to work your way around the whole head. You'll need to do the same on the arms, leg, the back, and the tummy is a little more sparse. Okay. Leave the chest, the lower body, and the underarms uncovered. Yep, so we're going to fuzzy this whole guy up. That is so cute. So let's just start getting this covering the whole of him. So once I've got the first layer, it's easier. I just basically add a pinch. I don't know how well you can see this. Lay the first bit just before the stuff that's already poking out. Felt the center. Fold it up and felt into the head so it's nice and secure. Oh, Alicia, I'm allergic to all fruit, so I've never had a mince pie, Christmas pudding, or Christmas cake, but make them for the family. Oh no, we'll have to figure out how to make a fruit-free one of these. I'm not entirely sure how you would do it. Certainly must be ways just to get the flavour. Oh, that's a shame. That's really weird. No fruit at all. Ginger, baby orangutans and gorillas and chimps have very sticky out hairy faces. So cute. I totally agree. They are incredibly fuzzy, which I think that's taking the incredibly fuzzy a bit too far there. I might trim him later. Oh, Ginger, if you make that, I need to know. Tia Maria Bundt cake. Yummy. I probably could make his fur a little dense and it would look a little less comical, but where's the fun in that? It's like he's got his crazy mane. This would totally work. I'm making a lion just now for a friend, but I'm going to use tops for the hair. But this would work as well to make a mane for the lion. Because this is quite a mane. But of course, if you're making them twice the size, this won't seem as big. Oh no, Alicia, you will die, swell up and can't breathe. Yeah, that's not worth it. But I'd love to know what they taste like. Oh, I don't know if there's a way to do it that wouldn't like kill you off. Let's. I'm sorry. Oh wow, yeah. Because it's like extracts and things, but you don't really want to play around and find out the hard way which bit of the fruit it is that you're allergic to if the extract is not good. Alicia, he's adorable. He's crazy. He's a little bit like he's been electric shocked. Obviously, when you're making your own little guys, you can pay more attention to them than I do, and you're not talking about mince pies and everything. So they might look a little bit neater than this, but I'm kind of enjoying the crazy look. If it doesn't work, it's entirely my fault, but I'm having fun with it anyway. I'm not entirely following the directions. And yeah, of course, when you're making them double the size, the little tufts of fluff that you're creating from these bats will be proportionately smaller, so it won't look quite so crazy. It'll look more normal. Bridget, it's very windy look. Yes, he is a bit windswept, isn't he? Electrocuted, windswept, you know. He's definitely going to be his own unique little creature for sure. Sorry if you can hear my radiators farting. I absolutely promise it's my radiators. I need to bleed the radiators, but I haven't got around to that yet. So they make terrible noises. Now, the question I'm asking myself is, do I want to trim him to a more sensible proportions, or do I want to keep him the fuzziest monkey on the block? Alicia is asking, Pam, have you done any craft project and actually followed the direction and entirely followed the directions? Quite possibly not. It is my kind of thing. Even like I remember when I was a kid and I was knitting some dinosaurs, I did a whole diorama for like an art project one time. And immediately before it even started, before I'd followed the pattern in any way, I already decided and I made the dinosaurs half size. So now I don't think I ever entirely follow any directions. Ginger, good thinking. Can you do carrot cake? And Alicia said, I'm seeing Ginger and thinking of putting Ginger and carrot cake. But you mean Ginger the person. If you leave out the raisins, carrots are okay for you. Oh, cool. So yeah, you can put in all the spices and everything. It's not quite the same, but carrot cake's lovely. I do like a carrot cake. I do like most cakes. Let's be honest. Oh, son, your mum does not groom you, does she? You're the neglected. You're the neglected gorilla of the troop. um, Bridget, yeah, Fuzzy looks cute for babies. Definitely, yes. Alicia, yeah, even as a child, I was half sized in my makes for sure. It's probably laziness. It's what it's cute, but it also is like you get something way quicker. So I I like doing that. I was just checking. I did just make and post off a full-sized dog this week. Well, not full size, a large-sized dog, about the kind of size that this gorilla's supposed to be, but I don't have him because I just posted him. But I do sometimes make things bigger sizes. You get so much fluff down here. Alicia looks like she just glued the entire bag of wool onto him. Pretty much. He's just an explosion in a wool factory, isn't he? You spend ages sculpting the shape of the body, and then you just go, and you can have some wool. Yeah, that sheep that was lost for years and needs a shearing. Yeah, very much so. So yes, if you go off piste with the size, then you have to be a little more careful with the hair. I'm loving it though. He's got his own wee character. I'll give him a groom when we're done. Oh, you poor fella. And I don't think I'm felting these bits in quite strongly enough that I'll be able to do like a full-on groom, but we'll do a little bit. Oh boy. And then just little amounts down his chest. Not quite so floofy. Alicia's in tears from laughing so hard. What are you saying about my bit? I'm just saying, do I have anything white so you can actually see him against something white? He's just a black hole of fluff. So no, that doesn't help a whole. All right. Okay, let's see if we can tame you a little bit, my dear boy. Here. Okay. This is gonna get messy. We've been sitting down for an hour. Yeah, apply glue and toss him in a bag of fluff. All done. There's actually, I've not seen her for a while, but I used to watch a polymer clay, a miniature artist, and she used to make dogs. And I was really tempted by this as a different way to make the fur, in that she would sculpt the dog out of polymer clay, and then she would come in with like merino tops and like glue the hair on like how we would felt it on, and then trim it and everything, and it really did look dead good. So I've always wondered about doing that. I mean, obviously it would make a firmer sculpture, but it definitely was an interestingly different way of doing things. And her work looked so amazing. And then she's the one that I got the idea to shade your fibers, just shade them over with chalks to color them, to get different variations in the blending and everything. Trying to pay attention as I'm trimming him down a little bit. Else I will cut myself. I'm not so used to using scissors and talking at the same time. Let's get your back end neatened up a bit. Yeah, I did go a bit fluffy there as well. He's supposed to be sitting. I'm not sure if my guy quite looks like a gorilla. I love his little toe beans poking out. So you can trim them, and you can also just felt the fibers a little into place, so it sort of shapes them, makes them a little bit neater if they're going overboard, which we did. Okay, I'm not entirely sure we can call this a gorilla, but it's something. Let's get rid of that fiber. And let's try and show you on the full camera. So come on, Mike. There he is. It's better. It definitely helps from a once you've trimmed him a bit. I definitely, if I was doing it again, I definitely would go smaller with the nose. I made that too big. I like adding the whites to the eyes, especially when he's so dark. I really like how the toe beans, that's adorable. I'm totally going to try and figure out how to make some more toe beans with the silk clay. So happy with that. But yeah, that's fun. I enjoyed that, right? Drew, you go and join your friend. You're not even going to be able to see him back here. Oh, he does look cute back there. But yeah, it's just a space of blackness. But that was fun, and we have enough left over to do another one. Oh, I did see someone was asking what we're going to. Alicia was asking what we're going to do next week. Why don't you all vote on it? I have a couple of thoughts. We could use this kit to make a black bear with toe beans. Why not? I've got leftover stuff. I could kind of follow the gorilla, but to become a bear, if that makes sense. It makes sense in my head. So let me know. That's a possibility. We've got enough left over for that. I was making the Truvian dog a couple of months back now. I didn't get any further with him because my hay fever went crazy, and we had to run that one a little sooner. I also have one of the Japanese Hunikamu. Oh yeah, don't forget you've got all the set dressing as well for your your gorilla as well, his leaves and things. That is so cool. So yeah, so I've got a Bengal cat kit, one of the Japanese kits that I don't believe has English descriptions, but we'll work it out from the pictures. So let me know. Bear, dog, or cat. Let me know in the chat and we'll figure out what we're doing next week. I've got little bits of black fluff everywhere. But yeah, just let me know what you think. That's pretty good. We've done that project in 2 hours perfectly. So we've got a crazy little gorilla outfit. Take your time with your gorilla, make him look gorgeous. Okay, guys. Yeah, I'll see you next week when we're doing whatever mystery I come up with. Right, have an awesome time.